All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, wow, we can do better. Good morning. So glad you guys are here. I have been very excited about this day since we first conceived of getting this group of agents together and letting them share with you what they're doing to grow their business. Let me explain to you just very quickly why we have the panelists that we have here. And they include Chris Childers from our Atascocita office, Natalia and Ivan Arjona from our Woodlands and Spring office, and then Lorna Calder. Anybody know Lorna? Right here in Kingwood. They are not yet the highest producing agents in each of their respective offices. We could have done that, brought in the #1 agent from every one. The difficulty is the very, very top agents at this point are primarily, I hate to say this, but coasting on past clients and customers, sphere of influence. And what I wanted to do was bring before you some agents who are in the growth stage of their business, who are being very creative and proactive about generating leads. Now someday they'll be #1 in their offices, and if they still have that fire in the belly, who knows what's going to be possible with as smart as they are and as creative as they are. But if you're looking to grow your business, to start opening up relationships with clients that you don't know, with new people, the strategies that they're employing are going to enable you to do that. So that's why they have been selected to be here today. So I would encourage you, take really good notes, think about really good questions. And the format we're going to follow is that Chris is going to kick off and share for about 20 minutes on a specific strategy that he's using. Then Natalia and Ivan will have about 20 minutes, and then Lorna also about 20 minutes. And then after each of them have kind of shared what they're doing, we're going to open it up in the second hour for questions. So if something pops up that you want to go deeper on, just make note of it. Take good notes. And then after their initial presentations, we'll open it up for questions. Okay? Anybody as excited as I am about this?
Yes.
Okay, Thomas, I know you are. I saw your email. That's fantastic. So glad you're here. So without further ado, Chris Childers.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so I've been in the real estate business for a little while, and like a lot of my peers, I often find myself without stuff to work on. I'll originate, I'll have files, we'll get them to the closing table office, and I've got no new buyers, no new activity to work on. So I had to figure out a way to generate a lot of traffic really fast without spending a lot of money on farming and that type of stuff. So really, one of the reasons I like Remax the most is because of the tools that we get that are free to us. Is everybody in here familiar with Lead Street? The website's provided in that? Okay. So essentially, what I want to show you guys how to do is generate a lot of buyer leads, or buyer or tenant leads, or whatever you want to market very quickly without spending any money at all. Okay. So essentially, we want to do it for free. We want to do it using tools that we already have for us. Okay. So as Remax agents, we all have our Lead Street websites, right? Who uses that as their primary website? Anyone? Okay.
Working on it.
You're working on it? All right. It's a pretty powerful tool. You don't have to use it as your primary website for this to work, but it would help out. And essentially, you can just drive leads to yourself, and as long as you're following up and tracking them, this will work for you, okay? So essentially, we've all got Lead Street website, which is free to us, and then we all also have access to Craigslist. Anybody in here not familiar with Craigslist? Okay. So it's much easier than you may think. If you guys have ever logged into your Lead Street, has everybody in here actually logged in and seen your dashboard? So you kind of see when you first log in what your activity is and all that. You'll notice here, I don't know if I got a pointer, but this is how many customers are viewing listings on your website at any given time. It's your last deal here if you log in each morning. I try to make it a habit of logging in each day. Most agents' Lead Street pages have 0 when I look at them, maybe 1 or 2. This is after me not messing with it for a couple of months, actually. I'll go in cycles where I generate a lot of business, and then I'll go out and chase that business, and I won't market aggressively, and then I've got to generate some new action. So I'll show you how to go. This is on a low day for me. In about 3 days' time, I went to 175 customers actively looking on my webpage, just driving leads myself, okay? So again, it's from 40 to a matter of 3 or 4 days to 175 people actually looking, okay? And I can go much deeper into that later on, but here's how it works. essentially, can I show you how it works here? Essentially what we want to do is just basically create ads that will drive traffic to your Lead Street website so that you can capture them. I like the Lead Street website because in order for them to see the details of the listing and all that kind of stuff, they actually have to put in their email, at least their email address and their name, and that means you can actually see real time who's logging into your website, what listings they're looking at. We can go a lot more detail on what you do with it once you capture that lead. All right, so first thing you're going to do is log into your heart system, which we all have, and then you're going to create a search. I use Fusion just because it's fast and easy for me now. A lot of people still use Tempo, but I've gotten more familiar with Fusion, and it flows very simple. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you here today. All right, once you go in, you're going to create a search for whatever types of properties you're going to advertise. You want some real fast money, go in and advertise a bunch of leases. It's going to keep you real busy and hopping for a few days, but you're going to get paychecks within a couple weeks. If you want to get your long-term clients that you can kind of incubate, if you will, through your web traffic, you do single families and that. So we're going to do single family ads today. What I'll do is about twice a week, I'll sit down in the morning with my coffee. It takes me about an hour, and I can post 25 to 30 ads in an hour's time. And I did, I think, 15 ads in this example to go from 40 to 175, and that's took me maybe 20, 30 minutes with coffee. So create your search. We're going to do single family. Of course, you're going to narrow down your search. You'll see here that what I try to do is to dial in to active listings. I wanted $250,000 and above is what I wanted to advertise for. I'm going to dial in on area 32, which we know is Kingwood. And then just to kind of narrow it down a little bit more, Kingwood is our area. And you'll see we've got 115 matches there at the top, right? From here, you're going to view your details, which, does everybody use Fusion?
No.
No.
A couple times? Okay, so Fusion's a little different as you navigate through it, but essentially, whenever you pull up your search here, okay, you'll see as you populate each field, it narrows down the number of results here. When you first go in there, it's going to show you all in Fusion. When it's just an empty slate, it's going to show you 25,000 or 50,000 or however many active listings there are in the city. And as you populate each field, it's going to narrow it down a little bit. You do 250 up, it's going to narrow it down. Area 32, it's going to narrow it down. So you'll see how many results are there. So then this will show you all the results. That's your criteria. Over here is your list view, which basically lists. It shows you a map view of all the listings, and the details shows you essentially your MLS, the actual listing itself. Everybody familiar with that? Okay. So essentially, what you'll do once you narrow it down to however you want to advertise, you'll click on the details tab. That takes you to your listings page. Okay. You just click that details tab there. Now what you're going to do is log into Craigslist. Does everybody does anybody advertise on Craigslist for personal things, real estate, whatever? I know you said you were familiar with that. I would absolutely recommend that you get your own account on Craigslist so you can log in. That way you can keep track of all your ads, renew ads, and all that kind of stuff. We'll go a bit further into detail. But once you log into Craigslist, you'll have essentially your own portal. The key point here, in my office, I work with two screens. I've got two big monitors that are side by side, so I can just flow back and forth between the two. I know that when Frank and I worked on this before, we were working on one screen. So if you're going to do that, make sure you open a second tab, because you're going to toggle back and forth between your two tabs that are open. All right? Okay. You go to your My Account icon, which is right there, top left. Okay, and then from your My Account, so this is kind of in my back office inside of Craigslist, all the ads I've posted, so forth and so on. Over to the right, you see where it says the Go button there. That's to create a new posting. All right, so if you're advertising real estate, you'll go to Create a New Posting, click Go. It's going to take you to this field. You're going to click Housing Offered, because of course we're marketing and advertising for homes. Next, it's going to automatically advance you to the next field. Of course, you want to do for sale in this instance. If you're doing lease homes, you'll go up there where it says housing for rent, apartments or housing. Of course, down here is real estate by broker. If you're an agent, you have to advertise real estate by broker, otherwise you get in trouble if you try to do by owner. Okay. One thing about Craigslist too, when you're posting your ads, you have to have something in there to identify yourself as an agent. It's effectively your IABS for the internet. All right, and that's one of the laws. If you're just advertising for sale and it looks like an individual, and you don't disclose you're an agent, you get in big trouble for that. So keep that in mind when you're advertising. So you'll click the real estate by broker, and that's going to bring you to a blank listing page for to advertise for a house here. So you're just going to start filling the blanks. Now, essentially, it's real easy. You're going to have your MLS listing over here on one side, and you're going to have your Craigslist page on the other, and you're basically going to take information from the listing and populate it into Craigslist. I've got it kind of streamlined the way that I flow with it. Essentially, go back to your MLS. You're going to need where it is, which is Kingwood here. Your zip code, of course, so ask for that in the listing. You want your square footage, and then also your list price, which is going to be key. Okay, so you can see what the details are here. And now we're just going to start filling in the blanks here. You do your posting. Here's what I'll tell you with regard to the posting. Generally, what I'll do is I'll read the public description, and I'll get a catchphrase out of there. Big house on cul-de-sac, something like that, and I'll just copy and paste it. If there's nothing really catchy, a lot of times agents are relatively lazy with their descriptions and that kind of stuff. I'll modify it or change it just to get it catchy, because frankly, that's how you're going to get people to open the ad and look at your listing. Okay? Of course, your location, we talked about, zip code, it asks for square footage, and naturally your price. Okay? So, when it comes to your property description, you don't want to try to recreate the wheel. And remember, I'm sitting down, I'm trying to do 25 or 30 ads in an hour, so I'm not going to rewrite a description and write a new novel about every single ad, so I'm going to make it easy, all right? I'm simply going to copy and paste the public description from the MLS ad, and then I'm going to just paste it right into my Craigslist ad. Be careful, you know, read through it. A lot of people have misspellings, they're very hasty in their public description, so you know, I'll actually go through and kind of correct some spelling and change some verbiage and grammar and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, you can just copy and paste your public description into the ad. All right. By being licensed and having access to MLS, by the way, it's totally legal, totally allowed to do this, and it works very well for you. All right. So then you're simply going to paste that into the field. Okay. The other fields down here you'll see are simply drop downs. So you can just populate into there or drop down and fill in your links for your details. I just want to show a few examples of what that was all about. All right, here's the big secret. Once you fill out all your information, here's how you capture your lead. And you were talking about this morning with what you and Henry are doing. I have this, I just copy and paste it from older ads, but essentially, if you can't read it, it just says call or text Chris Childress at my cell phone number to schedule an appointment. Call or text Chris Childress at 713-408-8007, or to schedule an appointment, to view this home, or you can request an appointment, see pictures, and find more specific information and you just put your website, which is going to drive them to your website. My website name is homeintexas.com, all right? So with your RE/MAX website, your domain name / any MLS number in the system will take them to a branded landing page for that particular listing. You don't have to do anything else. Again, homeintexas.com, you know, and then you just insert the MLS number, and then by following that link, it's going to take them to your web page. So here's what it looks like when you go live with them. First of all, I'm going to finish doing the ad here. You're going to, down at the bottom, you have this continue screen. We're going to publish the ad, so you click continue. It automatically is going to do your address. Just click continue to move past that. You want to upload a photo. One thing about Craigslist, you want to have some sort of a photo. I've done all kind of different things. Now I actually insert a picture. I've got a streamlined system where I can actually insert a picture of the actual house to make it fast. Before I used to just do a logo. I had a corny picture of myself at one time. Anybody ever heard of Lead Street Sam or Pearland Sam?
Yes.
Remember the old Pearland Sam guy? I decided to insert that picture of me in front of Pearland Sam at one time. But I used to just do any kind of, you know, branded something or other. I throw a RE/MAX logo in there, a picture of myself or something relative to the season or whatever. Just my way of disclosing that, yeah, I'm an actual agent with a reputable company. That's where it really comes in handy. Okay, so you'll add your picture, and then it's going to take you to this page where it's basically, this is unpublished draft. You can review your ad, make sure everything's in check, and then you simply click publish. Okay. I know this is like drinking through a fire hose. We're going through it very quickly, but once it's published, then your ad is live. Okay, and here's what it looks like. Customer customers on the website, on Craigslist, they're looking for houses in a certain area. They come across an ad and they say, okay, well, for $254,000, here's a 4-bedroom, 3,100 square foot house with a lot of amenities for everyone. I want more information on that. So they're going to read through here. You'll see down at the bottom, you see where you'll click the link down here that we talked about. Okay, it's going to drive them to your website. So basically, it takes them to my webpage, and that's a landing page, and all you do is home in Texas or whatever your domain name is, / an MLS number, and Remax, and is it Reliance now that still does a website, but the website company, at no additional charge and no additional work, provides a landing page for every single listing that's in the MLS. Again, it's just your domain name / an MLS number, and it's all branded. You know, so when customers go on, and like I said, I have customers who'll call me, and even if they don't find anything on Craigslist, they'll say, it looks like you got a ton of activity, because everything they're clicking on Craigslist has got my name, or it takes them back to my page or whatever. We'll actually pick up business that way. So, of course, when they follow that link, it's branded to you, and it looks like, effectively, that's your listing, and you got a lot going on. Now, it is full disclosure, so I want to make sure, you know, it does say in the bottom of the ad there, this listing provided by whoever it is. This is Weimarack Developmental, is whose listing that belongs to. But again, it's on my webpage, and the entire listing is branded to me.
You don't put that on the Craigslist, though, do you?
No, ma'am, because the disclosure is right there. Yeah, and that's part of what we pay for. That's with IDX, the data feed and all that stuff that feeds into it. That's what your MLSers are for. We are full on available and allowed to advertise any property that's listed in the MLS.
Really?
Okay, absolutely.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to stop just a second.
Yes,
Did you say that you do disclose that on Craigslist, or you do not?
No, I do not.
You do not, okay.
No, I mean, because when they go to the landing page, it's right there on the landing page.
Okay. That's-
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nothing misleading. I mean, basically.
No, I
we're
just
advertising.
didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you only have to mention the broker, not the agent,
In the ad?
in the disclosure. That this
Oh.
listing is brought to you by just
Yeah.
the broker's name or the agent's name?
Well, you don't have to disclose anything because that's part of the data feed, your IDX, MLS feeds into your Remax website,
Right.
and all that information is done for you. All you do is place the ad, website / the MLS number, and this is all done for you. I did no work inside of this page at all.
This is one of the searches that you set up initially, is that right? The properties you wanted to advertise?
Yes,
This is
sir.
one of those searches you set up on that Lead Street website, and then that way you had that page ready to go with that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do anything to build this page itself. That's part of what's provided to you by your Remax website. That's part of why I like Lead Street so much. But all I did
You did the search on Mars.
All I did was I was searching hard to find out what types of properties I wanted to advertise. In this particular instance, I wanted Kingwood, $250,000 and up, and that's what I searched for. I had 115 listings, and I just wanted to start posting ads until I got bored, or somebody called me and told me to get up out of my chair and go show them some houses, right?
And that's your regular car website, the one that we all get
The,
set up?
where you're forwarding it to?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you follow this, and this is in your Lead Street website, that's the reason I use the Lead Street website instead of Top Producer or anything else like that. First of all, it's free, and once you learn how to use it, it's really not that complicated. It is robust. There's a lot of amazing tools. I could spend 2 days talking about some of the stuff you can do inside your Lead Street website, which is free. Blow the doors off of any Top Producer website, or C57s, and there's all kind of different websites that are available to pay for, but why pay for it when this is free? In my opinion, it's much more robust than it. So, the only thing I used hard for was the initial search. And I went into Fusion and I found the properties, and I wanted to look at the listings. Whenever I create the ad, again, I just copy and paste the public description right here. In that area, I insert this text down here, and I put, to see more pictures and more specific information, click here, and I add my website, which is my Lead Street website, / an MLS number. And when they click that, that's what they see. It takes them to that landing page. All right? Any questions so far? Yes, sir.
One thing that I've been doing different on the Craigslist ads is in the section where you're creating the ad, where it says contact this web, or the ad itself. It says no emails to this website. I click that feature. That way the client has to click the link in the ad
Click through, right?
instead of responding to the email in Craigslist. That way you don't have a bunch of emails in your email box on Craigslist.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really get inundated with emails. I get more text or phone calls. When I
Yeah.
get overwhelmed and I can't keep up, I simply take my phone number out of the ad.
Yeah.
And force them to feedback to the website. Because frankly, when the phone rings and they say, hey, I'm calling about your ad on Craigslist, I got a little script. Hey, listen, I've got 35 to 40 different listings advertised on Craigslist right now. For more specific information, please scroll to the bottom of the ad. There's a link there that'll take you right to the website and give you all the information you want about that property. And I drive them right back to the website anyway. That way I can track what they're looking at and all that stuff. And again, in Lead Street, which we don't have a whole lot of time for today, but they can request an appointment, they can save favorites, they can basically narrow down to 3 or 4 properties in the list.
When they click on the link, are they forced to enter their email and everything into your Lead Street database?
Yes. At this point, you'll see they're not logged in, right? So the way that Lead Street works, you
Right.
see where you've got these M
Uh-huh.
little, you can't make it out, but that little raised M right there, that indicates members only, all right? So it takes them to the landing page where you get general information, the main features of the property. If they want to click on more general features, photographs, demographics, so forth and so on, it's going to tell them to, it says photo gallery available exclusively for My Property Finder members. And right there, they can log in.
So if they're already in somebody else's Lead Street, they're not gonna get to yours, it'll go to
Well, they'll-
the other site, right?
Yeah, what'll happen, it'll still look on your webpage. Now, it'll still be homeintexas.com with my, branding and logos and all that stuff, except for over here, it'll be the other agents.
Yeah.
So, and if you're inside of your office, your back office inside of Lead Street, you'll see, because you can see real time who's in there, how many listings they've looked at, exactly which listings, so forth and so on. And if it is a client that belongs to another agent, it says other agent's client.
Gotcha.
And so it's already, if they're already in somewhere, right? So, and sometimes people will call me and ask me questions, because again, it's still inside of my website. And that's why I always make sure at the top of my page, I always have my phone number and my name, including in my header, 9 times out of 10. So even though the other agent's picture might be over there, I do get a lot of phone calls, and I'll ask them, are you working with another agent? Do you have a buyer's rep? I've actually had clients that say, yeah, I am working with another RE/MAX guy, or I'm a member of another RE/MAX guy's Lead Street database, but this guy's in Katy or San Antonio or whatever. And, if I've done it once, I've done it 10 times, where I'll call the other agent and say, this guy's looking at Kingwood. Are you working with him? Do you have a buyer's rep? No, you don't. And just have them transfer the lead to me inside of Lead Street.
Do you offer a referral fee or?
No, if they're not working with them. I was asking, were you working with them? Are you interested in, if they don't have a buyer's rep, they're not actually looking, because they might have put them in there, they might have imported it out of their Google, or Facebook connections or something like that. So I'll ask them. If they're working with them, then I either flip it back to them or try to work something out. And never ever would you want to take something from somebody else, because it's all in trouble, right? So that's really it. So regardless of whose listing it is, it takes it and it's branded to you. And that's it.
Okay. Let's do questions at the end,
Yes.
okay?
Thank
Thank you. I'm just going to switch presentations here. Just a quick pause. I think we're good. Let's try the clicker and see if that's going to work here. Here, there we go. Okay. There we go, it's working.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, let me say this before you start. All of these presentations will be made available to you. So if you couldn't follow all that stuff through the Craigslist or the other presentations you're going to hear, we're going to make those available. And the video will also be available to you on our YouTube channel.
Somebody stand up here and hold us.
Actually, what do you need here, I think?
I don't know, it's, I'm teasing. It's the connection.
Yeah, will it do it on the next slide, or is it?
No,
Yeah, I think, yeah, you're good.
That's better, yes.
Okay, how are you all doing? So that's me and that's my boss right over there. Natalia and I, we started back in October 2006. I started on being a buyer's agent for Brian Schweiker. I don't know if anybody knows who Brian Schweiker is. Him and I are really close still, and things, you know, we took parts at the end of 2008. But I started with him. I started as an independent agent in 2009. Before I did real estate, I lived in California. I didn't do anything related to real estate, but I did know some things about how good it is to invest in real estate and things like that. So I always stayed in touch with friends and people that needed information and wanted information, and I always searched and did. And finally, I got to the Woodlands, and I started doing what I'm doing. Natalia been doing all kinds of things related to business administration and banking for 15 years. These are some of our achievements. I guess we can go over that later. It's not important. But I think that one of the things that has helped Natalia and I in our business is, you know, always do the right. Always do the right things for people. Right? That's the main thing that we've always done over the years, and somehow, some way, that all has come to as a return to our business. Pretty much our business is about 95% referrals. I would say 5% of it comes from any lead generation type of things that Natalia particularly does, but most of our clients come as referrals. A lot of the things that Natalia has done with our website and our technology in our office, you know, has generated a lot of leads over the years. The more time goes by, the more we are able to accomplish. Natalia is, you know, very much into technology, even more than I am, even though I'm very much into that. So some of the things, I think one main thing that has always worked for us, and we've seen the return more and more over time, is killing time with people in your car. That's one of the most important things that has worked for me. As we've gone along over the years, like I said, most of our clientele is all repeat business. Before this year, our best year had been last year. Before that, it was 2009 for us. It was the best year. And all those clients that we've always handled, we've kind of turned them into not only being buyers for living in their own home, but also being investors. And over time, they come back. But of course, we get, like everybody else, we get floor time, and we get property calls every now and then, here and there. And where I was going was, one of the things that worked for me really, really well is before, I used to pick up a phone and say, yeah, of course, I'll show you that house right away. Let's go see that house. And I would go there, not come prepared. I'll bring that listing information with me. I'll go there, show the house. They probably didn't like the house. If I got lucky, they liked the house and wanted to make an offer. But if I didn't, see you later. Take the phone number, take the email, whatever, and you try to continue to stay in touch with those people, but really your chances are really slim. So I stopped doing that, never did that again. Every time anybody called me, every time anybody knew they wanted to buy a house or know anything about a house, they would call me, get to me somehow, referral or not, and I would always make an appointment at my office. Never go out there again to meet somebody. Done. Never again. I'd never do it again. Ever. Never. Never go out and meet somebody on the street. If they really are serious, they're going to come to my office, they're going to sit down, and we're going to talk for hours. 1 or 2 or 3 hours. 2 or 3 hours of my time in the office will kill 15 days of looking at homes. It works like a charm. So what did I do? I bought myself a big screen TV, and I put it on the wall. I bought myself Apple TV. I don't know if everybody here knows what Apple TV is. Apple TV is not only TV. But Apple TV also allows you to use your iPad on and your computer and connect remotely to it, okay? So what I do is, people come to my office, they sit down, and they talk to an attorney, they talk to a doctor, they talk to me. It's the same kind of appointment. I ask questions, they ask questions, and they look at everything on the screen. And then the first thing that I narrowed down from there is, okay, so, you know, 2 questions. The 2 main questions are, number 1, can you afford a house? If you're going to afford a house, how are you going to pay for it? If you ask a person outside of your office that question, chances are they're going to deviate. What did I do? Okay. Chances are they're going to deviate. They're going to be afraid of talking to a stranger about their financial situation. They're not going to feel comfortable. If they come to the comfort of your office, okay, make it comfortable for them, make it warming, charming, cozy. You know, I have a whole tray of candy. They come in and they eat all the candy they want. I buy really good chocolate for everybody. So when they come, trust me, I've had clients that come to my office to eat a chocolate. They drive by, they go, hey Ivan, you got any more of those candies? You can ask my wife. I swear. They come to my office and they feel the comfort of it. So I'm looking for more space in the building, actually. I want more space, I want a bigger office. Trust me guys, it works like a charm. They come to the comfort of your office, they look at the screen, you show them everything there, you ask them, as they're looking, can you afford a house? If you cannot afford a house, have you talked to a lender? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? You narrow that part out. Most people who are coming to a place like Kingwood or the Woodlands, they can afford a home. They come to an office like ours, they usually can. And then the second question is, where do you want to live? What part of this area do you want to live? Well, tell me about it, and you tell them about it. So I have a big screen TV, and I have a map under it. And so I go to Google Maps, or I go to our HAR map, and I show them on the map, on the screen, I show them the map that I have below it. And narrow down the location. Once you narrow down the financial part of it and the location, it works like a charm. I walk out of there, go see 3, 4, 5 houses, sold, done deal. That's it. No questions asked. It works like a charm. It worked for me. And we do it and do it all over and over again, honey, and it works. Always. People, you narrow it down, you get it done. Relationships. One of the things that works for us also is keeping a good relationship with the other agent. Whoever the agent is, just keep it straightforward, be nice, be helpful to them. Some of them, you know, a lot of agents don't know a lot about technology, so you say, oh, you know, just send me the contract via DocuSign. Oh, you know, I've never used DocuSign. Well, come to my office and I'll show you how to use it. Really? Can you? Trust me, they come to my office. Sometimes I go to their office, I sit down, Natalia sits down. We show everybody, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, it doesn't really matter. Those people are your colleagues. They work around the same area as you are. And if you have listings in the future, they're going to want to show it because they're going to love working with you. That's 50% of our success. Good relationship with other agents. They want to, not only do they want to be around you and they want to work around you and they want to show your listings and work deals with you, they're going to end up probably wanting to come to work in the same office you're in. Trust me, it works. People want to know, they want to be around good people. Did I do something? So keeping that relationship with other agents, to me, fantastic. You know, every time somebody wants to show our listings, we call them and we say, thank you so much for showing our listings. I guarantee you're going to love working with us. That's my phrase. You guarantee you're going to love working with us, and it works. They get excited. You know, somebody makes a call to you, says, hey, we would love to work with you, Ivan, you know, whatever. They want to come with you and work with you, always. They love it. So it really works for us. Make it easy for them. Don't be that kind of agent that hides on the 9th or on the 9th or the 10th day of an option period. Don't hide from people. Trust me, I've gone over some other people that have had transactions with me, they go over their option period, and I don't ding them for it. Ivan, I'm so sorry, I forgot our 10th day was yesterday. Look, man, it doesn't really matter. If that buyer's not gonna buy that house, he won't buy the house. Whether they are on the 10th day or on the 45th day, they're not gonna buy it. Who's gonna go out and sue them? Nobody's gonna sue them. Have you guys, how many here have been in the business 20 years? Have you ever had any situation where anybody sues anybody? Okay, there you go. Have you had anybody back out on the 30th day?
Probably.
Quite a few, right?
Well, not quite a few.
Nobody
So,
sues
thank
anybody.
goodness, not quite a few.
It really has to be somebody that like an engineer or something like that, who's really meticulous to sue somebody. Don't be the kind of agent that runs over periods and start hiding from that other agent. They're gonna hate you for it. They're never gonna wanna do a deal with you ever again. I've had that happen to me with some agents. Can't say names, but I'll tell you lots of people from Keller Williams, they completely hide from you. At the very end of some period, they disappear and you're going crazy, calling them, hey, I'm running out of time. Sometimes you can't get your client. Your client can be in Japan, Russia, who knows, okay? And then you're afraid because that agent's gonna ding you. They're gonna, either charge you money or start throwing attorney words and things like that. Don't do that. You're doing bad business if you're doing that. Be nice to people, and they'll love working with you, and what goes around comes around. If someday you need them, they're gonna turn their back on you. And a lot of others are going to because they told their friends. And people know people. This is not such a big place. It's a small place. Houston is small. You go and you drive for an hour and you get to Katy, but it's still a small place. You'll bump into people all the time. Well, I went over the qualification of a client. That I kind of did not go in order, but the relationships is very, very important. Qualify your buyer, provide sellers with solutions. Sellers. When you go to a listing appointment, you don't know it all. You don't know it all. Let them know you don't know it all. It doesn't matter. They don't care if you do or not. In their business, they don't know it all. Okay? But have a good relationship with technicians and all kinds of handyman and painters and things like that you can throw on the table. When you go to a house, when you go to a listing, you walk around. Don't be afraid of telling people. Natalia dings me